The Honda Passport has been part of the brand's lineup in one form or another since the 1990s, but for 2026, it's back with its boldest redesign yet. Positioned between the CR-V and the Pilot, the new Passport TrailSport Elite takes Honda's two-row SUV formula and gives it a tougher, more capable edge. While other brands are swapping their midsize SUVs for turbocharged 4s or hybrid setups, Honda is staying true to its roots, keeping that 3.5-liter V6 under the hood. It's a move that keeps the Passport's character intact, reliable power over complexity, and with new styling, off-road hardware, and a newly redesigned cabin, the TrailSport is ready to prove that there's still a place for a proper V6-powered adventure SUV. Just bought your dream car or thinking about a new ride? Whether it's a brand new vehicle like the one featured in this video or your trusty everyday driver, our partners at LegendaryCarProtection.com have your back. Recommended by ClassicCars.com, they offer top-notch coverage for new cars as well as your current classic, collector, exotic, or daily driver. Because your dream car deserves a dream protection plan. Visit www.LegendaryCarProtection.com to get your free quote today. Alright guys, so looking at the exterior off the bat, let me know what you think of the new redesign down below in the comments. Personally, I'm a huge freaking fan. This is the best looking Passport that I have ever seen. I love the color that we have ours in. This is the sunset orange paint. Unbelievably beautiful, especially with the black that you're getting on the front fascia. It looks aggressive. It looks like a Honda has finally been made to go off-road. Love to see it. It's even better because it's got a naturally aspirated engine, which we're gonna talk about in a second, but yeah, this thing looks aggressive. I mean, the daytime running light, it's amber. So when you're driving in front of this vehicle and you look in your rearview mirror, this thing looks awesome. It kind of reminds me of the Toyota 4Runner models, the TRD ones that have the amber colored daytime running light. I like to see Honda doing their own thing, but it's similar in a way. It's off-roady. Love to see it. We do have some nice black accents on the front. Unfortunately, this little inlet here is non-functional. It's here for aesthetics only, but you know what? I think it looks cool, so I kind of like it. We've got our Honda badge smack dab in the middle, and on the right is our TrailSport badge. As we look a little bit lower, this vehicle comes standard with the 360 camera view monitoring system, which is just awesome. So what that's gonna get you is cameras around the whole vehicle. We're gonna talk more about that in a little bit. We've got a little wiper here too that's gonna spray down the camera and clean it off, which is really cool. You're out on the trails, you hit mud, push the button in your car, clean it right up, love it. As we look even lower, we've got an orange tow recovery hook here, and even lower, we've got steel skid plates all around. This is an off-road vehicle. I love to see it. As we move down to the wheels here, the TrailSport is going to get you these 18-inch gloss black and sort of like gunmetal wheels. They look really good. I love how they're wrapped in 275/60 R18 tires. Nice beefy rubber, looking real good, especially on this boxy SUV. Can you tell? I'm a fan. As we move down to the side, we've got our integrated turn signals here in our black side mirrors. Love to see it. We're seeing a cohesive design throughout the side profile. Everything is black. Black door handles. We're gonna get a little bit taller roof rails up on top, also painted black. Black on the B-pillars. Looking good. We've got some cladding here on the bottom, you may notice. And for an off-road vehicle, you kind of want this to be unpainted, unfinished, just easily replaceable, because if you wheel this thing, it's gonna get scratched up. It's gonna be easier to replace. Talking suspension, the suspension has been tuned and kind of reworked for this TrailSport, going to make it a little bit more comfortable off-road, and it feels great driving, but we'll talk more about that in a second. The overall look feels modern, but it's still rugged. It has a nice confident stance. The details are purposeful. The black and orange TrailSport accents just help this thing stand out from the typical midsize crossover crowd. As we come to the rear end of the vehicle, I love how it just kind of matches the vibe that the front is giving and the side profile. Nothing really looks out of place. Maybe the windshield wiper, but honestly, it does still look really good back here. New for 2026 are these LED taillights, and they look great. I love it. They're not too small, not too big. I know with the new 4Runner, they look really small, so nice and big here on the TrailSport. What we've got going on is a tow package that can tow up to 5,000 pounds. You can see our little tow receiver down there. We've got some hidden parking sensors just to help you back this thing up a little bit easier. And what we also are getting is, check this out, a kick sensor. Look at that. If you got your groceries, this is super easy, but it's kind of standard in what we're seeing in a lot of new SUVs. So I like to see that that is included. What I also like to see is the fact that this vehicle retains its spare tire underneath the floor here. What we're seeing in a lot of these new vehicles, they're all hybrids. All the battery components and everything take up space back here, which basically means you're not getting a new car with a spare tire. So what happens if you get stranded? That's up to you. I like how this vehicle is going to ensure you can still go on off-road adventures, you can still have fun, and have the peace of mind of knowing if you pop a tire, you've at least got something to work with. Practicality, I like it. Moving to the left of our floor, we actually have a little bit more room to kind of put whatever we'd want back there. Spare luggage, spare snacks, I don't know, a whole bunch of different things, but it's cool, I like it. What we're also looking at is 44 cubic feet of space, which is certainly not too shabby. Go ahead, fold that second row down, you're looking at 84 cubic feet of space. Lots of room to work with, love to see it. We've also got a 115 volt AC outlet on the left and some extra cubbies, so a vehicle that seems to check all of my boxes, so I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. But with that being said, let's go take a peek at what lies underneath the hood. All right, lifting up the hood here, so easy. Again, what I would expect at this price point. I also am loving to see what we've got inside this. This is all reliable. A 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6, no hybrid, no CVT. We've got a 10-speed automatic transmission in this thing, an all-wheel drive system that favors the front but will send power to the rear wheels. This whole system is going to be pushing out 285 horsepower and 262 foot-pounds of torque, which is certainly not the most potent, but more than enough for this vehicle here. Now, for gas mileage, you're looking at 18 in the city and 23 on the highway. Inside, the TrailSport Elite looks fantastic. There's lots of soft touch materials. I love the brown perforated leather. It's very pretty, and the accented orange contrast stitching is unique to this TrailSport line. The 12.3-inch touchscreen runs Google's built-in software as well as Apple CarPlay. It also comes standard with a multi-view camera system that's easy to access from the display or by a nice physical button on the dash. For the interior, the biggest thing to me is that I feel the attention to detail is here. You can see it in the design for the door panels, the patterns that you see. You can see it here across the cup holders as well, but also in front of the cup holders, you get this little storage area that is your, QI compatible phone charger on the left, but it's rubberized, which means your phones aren't gonna slide around, or keys, or whatever you wanna store there, but it also has a topographic design that matches the overall aesthetic of this off-road oriented vehicle. You don't see that design anywhere else, yet it's perfect. I love it. And you see that brown soft leather that comes across the dash, the contrast orange stitching on the wheel. I mean, this looks well crafted. When you slam the door, it has a nice solid thunk. This feels like a refined vehicle, and that was immediately apparent as soon as I sat down in this thing. Now, let's talk about our infotainment system. What comes standard on this vehicle is a 12.3-inch touchscreen display. Of course, it is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible wirelessly, which, I mean, it's 2026. I feel like that should be a standard in every new car, but it's very easy to use. Honda's system is very intuitive. You can also organize your apps any which way you'd want. So if you want to have all your Bluetooth and radio controls on one side and maybe all your settings and trip computer on the other, you can arrange it, and it's super easy to do so. We've got our volume knob just below that, which is super easy to use. Obviously, it's just left and right, but it has a nice feedback when you're moving it from side to side. I like to see that, and you get more of that feedbacky stuff for our climate control area, which I think Honda, they have absolutely nailed the climate control system. It is so easy, and listen to the sound of these buttons, or knobs. I just love stuff like this. This is the kind of stuff that when your eyes are on the road, you want to be able to kind of just feel, oh, okay, I got to go up 3 degrees. Let me go 1, 2, 3. Super easy. You don't have to go through a screen and touch random things and fat finger it, and kind of get lost and just be frustrated, because in my 2013 Lexus, I have to control my AC through a screen and it sucks. You don't want to do that. This is easy. It's awesome. You've got the heated and ventilated buttons for your seat controls on the left side. You've got your temperature, the sync controls. I mean, everything that you would want easily available right in front of you. I just couldn't be more happy with this system. As we look a little bit lower, we've got 2 USB-C ports, and to the right, a 12-volt cigarette lighter. Just below that was that QI-compatible phone charger, and below that is the weird and unique shifter. Now, for an off-road SUV with a 10-speed and not a CVT, I would love to see a real shifter that I could throw into gear. I was kind of looking for that. It's a little odd being, you know, buttons that you push. I will say there is nothing wrong with the technology. It works very well. I've had no problems with it, but personally, I would just like a really nice beefy shifter, like for what you can find in maybe the 4Runners or Sequoias, those off-road oriented vehicles. It feels really good putting those big vehicles into gear. Regardless though, I mean, it works as it should, and I really can't complain other than I like a standard shifter more. But regardless, let's talk about the button below that. We've got this nice little orange accented button to control our drive modes. We've got sport, we've got normal, eco, snow, trail, sand, and tow. And I'm happy to report to you, all of these modes definitely make a difference in the way that the vehicle drives. Some of these vehicles nowadays say it's in sport mode, but I don't notice anything different about it. I can feel this thing kind of stiffen up. I can feel in comfort mode how it just kind of relaxes a bit. So yeah, I'm really happy to report also that just works really well. We do have a digital display, which, as a guy who prefers analog, I will say this is executed really nicely. It's not in your face. It's kind of just perfect, and I'm not even trying to glaze. I mean, I just really like the way it looks. You've got your fuel on the right side, you've got your temperature on your left side, your tachometer on the middle left, and on the right side you can kind of change what you have there. I've currently got mine set to the map, which is really cool to kind of see what traffic is doing, especially when I'm commuting at home. I like stuff like that just makes life a little bit easier. But I think that really wraps up the cockpit. One thing I want to mention is what we're getting also as a standard. Check this out. Our sunroof that does open. We've got a crossbar that comes across the top here on our B-pillars. It's probably there for integrity and you know, make it sound and structured, but nonetheless, I mean, it works good. You can enjoy it as a driver and passenger, but also as a rear passenger, it extends just enough back there so that you guys can enjoy it. But with that being said, why don't we crawl back there and see how much space we're rocking with? Compared to other manufacturers where sometimes the rear passengers are left completely to fend for themselves, where there's no AC, there's flat black everywhere, this is the total opposite. That same refinedness that the front of the cabin was giving is clearly continuing on to the rear. We've got our climate control system right behind the center console, which is amazing. If you've got kids, they don't have to bother you to turn on the AC or yada, yada, yada. They can do it themselves right here. And what is also amazing is that these seats also get a heated function on each side, which you can press back here. This is amazing if you're going camping, you've got the kids, they're cold, come back here, kit how you want, and I would have loved to see this when I was a kid, so I'm a little jealous. But yeah, that same level of attention to detail is still back here. We're still getting that two-tone paint scheme on the door panels here, up on the back of the seat. We also get a pocket behind the driver's seat, another pocket behind the passenger seat, and this nice little privacy shade, which little things like this just go a long way in my book. Also, talking about the door panels, we do have 2 large cup holders on the left with extra storage just next to that, and you've got that mirrored on the passenger side as well. For you families out there who maybe have a newborn or a kid who's maybe still in a car seat, the car seat belt latches here are very easy and out in the open. You're not gonna have to dig to unhook them in between leather. You know, that can be a real pain in the butt. These are very easy to maneuver. Now, talking about headroom and legroom, I'm looking at 40.7 inches of headroom, and I'm 5'10" for scale. I have plenty of room to go and feel comfortable, especially with 40.9 inches of legroom. It is quite spacious and quite comfortable. I'd have no problem taking a nap back here. But I think that pretty much wraps up the interior. Let's hop in the driver's seat and see what this TrailSport's got. Now, the biggest thing that I noticed off the bat when driving this thing was how tuned and comfy the shocks are. Now, For it being an off-road vehicle, it's going to be tuned to be more comfortable going over washboards, going over some more bumpy stuff, so it makes sense it's a little more soft. But what that means on your city driving and highway driving is a little bit more of a floaty experience. Nothing really crazy. You could just feel it going around corners. It's not going to be anywhere near as bad as a body-on-frame vehicle like the 4Runner, how that will really toss you side to side like you're going on an adventure or like a boat or something. But it is noteworthy. I still think that it is so comfortable to drive. I mean, it tracks straight. The wheel feels nicely weighted. It feels good. Now, in regards to throttle response, it is perfectly adequate for this vehicle. You know, it's not too fast. It doesn't have that hybrid system, which is gonna send power and kind of get you there quickly as compared to maybe the iForce engines from Toyota, but you're kind of sacrificing get up and go for less complexity. And in a vehicle like this, which isn't made to really go fast, I think that is a trade-off well worth it. So it does have plenty of power for, you know, the size of the vehicle. 285 doesn't seem like a lot of horsepower, but it's not until you actually get in this thing, give it some throttle and feel it and say, hey, wow, this is, you know, this is the perfect amount of power for this vehicle. It feels really good. Now, when you do put it into sport mode, again, that's gonna propel you even quicker, which is my favorite drive mode to drive this thing in. In regards to visibility, I've got to give it to Honda. They have done a great job with not allowing anything to be reflected up into the windshield that would distract me as a driver. I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough in a lot of these car reviews. Is sometimes when manufacturers make their dash super pretty with all these bells and whistles and chrome designs and accents, well, when the sun hits it, it's bright and it gets reflected into the windshield and you can see it when you're driving. Absolutely drives me crazy. I have not noticed that at all because this vehicle is just black. So it's a nice, clear, giant windshield that I'm looking out of. Love it, it looks good. In regards to visibility in terms of 360 view monitoring, check this out. There's a button here on our windshield wiper column thingy-mabob. We're gonna click that. Clicking it one time will give us a screen on the left that shows what's in front of our vehicle and on the right a bird's eye point of view. If we press that button again, we're gonna see a view of what our tires are going to drive over. This is really kind of designed for low speed off-roading. So you don't puncture a tire and go over a sharp rock. You can kind of see where you're putting your wheels. I mean, I love to see it. I mean, this technology just makes off-roading so much easier. Is it cheating? Yeah, but is it nice and convenient to when you don't want to have to stress about, you know, what you're doing? It's nice. I like it. So it is cool that it has it and it works very well. Between the different drive modes, the smooth, reliable power, this TrailSport Elite feels balanced for everyday driving and weekend adventures alike. I wouldn't mind taking this thing out on the trails, but I also wouldn't mind taking it out to go and get some groceries. The 2026 TrailSport Elite pretty much takes everything buyers liked about the outgoing model and builds on it. Tougher styling, better off-road hardware, and a cleaner, more tech-forward interior. Pricing lands around $53,800, which puts it right in line with its rivals like the Toyota 4Runner and Nissan Pathfinder. If you're after a comfortable two-row SUV that's genuinely capable off-road and still very easy to live with every day, the new TrailSport is one of Honda's best all-arounders yet. My name is Luke Lamondola, and this has been my experience with the 2026 Honda Passport TrailSport Elite.